Hello everyone and welcome to this new series, the Moon series, the Moon sign series for the members, for BTS members. I decided to do this interpretation, it obviously starting by the Human, but I thought it would make sense because since the moon signs are ruled by elements also, they are separated by elements of air, fire, water, and earth. I wanted to try to make like a couple of them that share the same elements, and then of course there's one of them that it's the only one that has like an air element. So that person, I'm going to do it like single, like in a video is going to be just about him. So for example, this first video, it's about Jin and Namjoon, because they both have like fire moons, in the sense that Jin, it's an Aries moon, and Namjoon, it's a Sagittarius moon. So, and there's like a special correspondence also, in the sense that Jin is a Sagittarius. I mean, his sun sign it's a Sagittarius, and coincidentally, Namjoon, although he's a Virgo, he is a Sagittarius moon. So when you have like those kinds of coincidences, it's very nice to see them, how they interact with each other, because sometimes like the moon person and the sign person try to gravitate towards each other, because it's like they identify with each other despite of the differences of the other signs placements that they might have, or that they might like develop. For example, in the sense that Namjoon, it's a Virgo sign, so maybe everyone will be like, oh yes, he's just reserved and this and that, and we know that he does sometimes gives that Sagittarius vibe more than Jin even. So I will be developing that later. So I'm going to start talking first about what's a moon sign. In astrology, we have three different aspects that are important in a birth chart. It's important for you to know, so you can have like a base, like a ground about how the person is in question of its personality. And one important and the most known that we all know is our sun sign. That it's our sun sign, it's the one that we look in the horoscope, the one that we read in the magazines, the one that it's like where when we were born, the day we were born, we were decided, we were like assigned a sign, like, oh yes, I was born in January, so I'm a Capricorn. So but that sun sign is not the only important aspect of our relationship. There are a lot of planets and a lot of signs, a lot of aspects about astrology and about a birth chart that speak deeply about who we really are inside. So I wanted to address the moon sign, especially because the moon sign, it's about how we care about our emotions, our sensitivities, our home, the way we were brought up, our childhood, the relationship with our mother. If you can see the card of the moon, you can see the representation. It's like the face of a mother. So obviously the moon sign talks about what we need emotionally to nurture us, what we need, and how we behave in when we feel safe, when we feel like we are in our special place. I mean, people don't usually show their moon signs traits very easily. They have to feel comfortable with you. They have to feel um, like they trust you enough to show these traits. And what happens, what I saw as an army, what I saw about the boys is that since they've always been very open and very like they shared a lot about their about how they lived, um, about how they became who they are, and they shared very personal moments with us. It's like we always been in contact with the moon sign. It's like I've always, since I'm an astrologer, I've always been able to see the moon sign displayed in them more than the sun sign actually. So that's why I wanted to share with you some of the things I know about the moon signs. So you can understand a bit about their more like inner world, about their emotions, about how they feel, about um, what makes them happy, about how they behave in their internal world, in their internal feelings. Because the moon sign, it's all about emotions, it's all about feeling, and it's all about the inside of us. So, for example, here I, as you know, I have like a wheel of the zodiac, and I place it in Sagittarius because I'm starting with Jin. And the next card that I place with the moon, it's an Aries moon. It's an Aries card. So you can see the representation of an Aries archetype. So you can see what Aries energy looks like. Actually, there are some Aries sign people that look a bit like this, but I wanted you to be able to see it represented in somehow, in some way, because of, if you can see, it's all fire. Because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, it's the starter, it's like this big bang that comes and starts things, and he comes into the scene very powerfully. So in this case, it's Jin's moon sign. Jin's moon sign, it's an Aries. He is a Sagittarius, but his moon sign is in Aries. So we will see this card again in the other part for other member, because Taeyong B, it's an Aries moon, and we are going to talk about it too. We're going to talk about how it plays differently. It depends. It's very similar in the traits, but it also depends of where the sun sign is. So it's not the same to be a Sagittarius with a moon in Aries than to be a Capricorn with a moon in Aries, because you have to think that these energies have to live with each other. They have to combine, and sometimes do it harmoniously, and sometimes it's like it's like a struggle, because sometimes we don't always have like a moon sign that it's compatible with our sun sign. So it is not that easy to integrate the different aspects. So for example, maybe in the case of Jin, it's a little bit easier since he's a Sagittarius, and Sagittarius and Aries are both fire signs. So it means that he is very passionate and straightforward, and he feels really comfortable with the energy of fire, with the energy of of the element of fire, and he feels like really secure, showing his emotions and also showing like the outer side of himself, the core of himself, his true nature. Is like he doesn't have like that emotional like inner struggle about showing who he is, because these two aspects, the sun sign and the moon sign, are in very, like, you can say, compatible signs, and also they are in the same element. So it's like a bit of familiarity between the energies. It's not like Sagittarius and Aries are the same, but they are both fire signs. So when a moon is in a fire sign, it talks about the person being like always on the move, and the person always being like very action oriented. I mean, that they love to move around, they need to move around because they have so much energy, so they need constant change, they need to move, they need to be able to like express that passion that they have inside. So because otherwise it's like all this fire that they have inside, it burns them inside. It's like they cannot hold it in because it's too hot and it's too intense. And this is what happens when sometimes you meet an Aries person or an Aries moon. It's like they always seem like they are mad. I mean, like they are like upset or angry about something, and it's not that they are this, actually. It's just that it's their it's like their way of expression. They express themselves in a very strongly way, but it doesn't mean that they are angry, or that they are violent, or that they are always seeking to fight someone. Although it's like their whole expression and their whole movement. You can see this person here. He seems like he's ready to fight you, and almost his facial expression also shows a bit of aggression, but actually it's they are very tender people inside. It's just that this is like the introduction, it's the way they present themselves to you. So maybe, for example, an Aries moon is very known to, maybe if they like you, they will start like picking on you, like they will start to talking, like trying to provoke you, in the sense to make you mad or to make you feel uncomfortable in some way, so they can have like an excuse to start an argument with you. And this is like a way to get your attention. So it has like a deeper meaning. It's not that they do it for fun, it's just the way they communicate. They communicate through quick action, through strong emotions. So definitely he needs to make you feel something, because otherwise he feels like restless, because he has all this energy that he wants to express and he doesn't know why. And of course this means that maybe they are a bit quick tempered, in the sense that maybe he gets upset about something, but then just as quick as he gets upset, the quick he lets go of it, the quick he forgets about it, the quick he forgives. It's not that he is like resentful, maybe if they have an argument. No, actually he's like, this is one of the traits of being like a fire sign, is that sometimes they start something, but then they eventually move on. It's like they are in constant movement, so they are not people that hold grudges against you, or maybe it's like thinking about things of the past, about what you said to them, or about how you say it. No, they actually let go and move on to the next scene really quickly, which also is very like surprising and to the other person that interacts with them, because it's like, oh, you were yelling at me a moment ago, why are you so chill now? And it's like, it seems like they have different personalities at some point, but actually it's the way they communicate. They it seems whenever they are hurt by something, they make like huge fuss about it, and maybe you think that, oh, it's really important, and actually then you realize that it's not the case, that they eventually forgot about it. So they definitely react with an impulsive intensity. So everything they do is like really like wow, like very like exaggerated, almost. They are very like, even they are very like loud when they talk. They are very like a small child, you think, we always think about Aries, since it's like the first sign of the wheel of the zodiac. We always think about Aries like the child of the zodiac, the baby of the zodiac, because he's the first one. So and so that's why they people with moon in Aries and the Aries archetype, it's very childish in a way. It's very like he acts like a child, and he wants to be treated also like a child, in the sense that he wants to be spoiled, he wants to be heard, he wants his needs to be satisfied. They don't have a lot of patience. That's why they always go around complaining about things, because they don't have patience. They don't have patience to wait for you to. I mean, they don't have the patience of, for example, of Moon in Taurus, that it's more like a slow energy. They don't have the patience. They're like, I want what I want and I want it now, like a child, like a small child. So they always, sorry, I have a reading here. I did some writings. They always also, it's like they're always waiting for the next challenge. They love to be challenged. They are very competitive. They love to participate in activities that involve physical activities. They love competition. They love the feeling, the thrill of competition. And also doing physical activities also help them to maybe calm down a bit, because they tend to be like people that have a lot of energy. So they definitely need to do physical exercise. They need to exercise themselves physically, because otherwise they become really restless. Actually, Moon Aries people suffer very often of headaches, because Aries rules the head. So they always have like strong headaches, because it's like they are always constantly moving. They are always constantly like in action. So sometimes they may hit also their head. They may have like head injuries, because it's like the first thing that they go with is their head. So maybe they hit their head or something. So they have to be really careful about the heavy migraines and all the stuff. They have to take care of it. And actually, when you have like a moon in a fire sign, which we will see a lot, because actually there are 7 members and 4 of them have moons in fire signs. So they definitely are very passionate about their feelings, about the expression of how they feel. Um, thank, uh, thank God there are other members that have like other different energies, so they can do like a balance, because otherwise, if all of them were like this, or were like fire sign, a moon in fire sign, they probably would always be arguing, or always having like a clash of egos. But at the same time, the positive side of having a moon in a fire sign is that you are very like a go-getter. You are very like strong physically, and I mean, if we see all the work that they do physically, the way they dance, the way they move, the way they perform. You have to be really like energetic in some way, and you also have to be like very optimistic also. I think this is an important part also about Jin, that we always talk about Jin, because that Jin, it's that Sagittarius optimism that is really needed in the group, in the synastry of the group. It doesn't seem like it's important, but it's essential. It needs to be there in order of the relationship and the synastry of the group to work, because we have some other types of personality in the group that are like more introvert, in the sense that whenever they go through something that's really like important for them, they go inwards, like they go to themselves, they keep it to themselves, they don't talk about it, they isolate. So when you have like a Sagittarius person with the moon in Aries, you have like a person that is willing to take you out of the darkness of keeping everything to yourself and being all moody and being all like caught up in emotions, because Sagittarius and Aries sometimes what they teach you is that you have to move on, is that you have to keep moving. It doesn't matter if you how you feel, if you're hurt, if you have a bad day, if you had been betrayed, if you don't feel good enough, you have to get up anyways, because the show must go on, and you have to keep moving. You have to keep working on the energy. Even if you don't feel like you are strong enough, you have to keep fighting. You have to keep moving, because the world keeps moving. Although your inner world is falling apart, you need to keep moving. So also when we talk about the moon, we also talk about the relationship with the mother, and very like sometimes what happens with the mother is that the moon sign of the child is sometimes like the son of the mother. Is like, for example, he's a moon in Aries and his mom is an Aries, is an Aries sign. So those are like things that happen in astrology that are very like interesting. It also means that he saw his mother being this way. That means that he saw his mother act this way. He has this vision of his mother of being a fighter, of being like a very independent woman, like being a very strong mother, like a very like outgoing mother, a very like ambitious mother, and a very passionate person, like very like strong-willed person. So that he definitely, when you have like a moon in Aries, it means that your mother was a fighter, so you learned to incorporate that archetype within you, and you feel at home and you feel nurtured when you feel passionate about something, when you start new things, when you get on this a passionate mode. So that's why the Aries moon persons, people are very good leaders, because they have like a lot of energy that it serves to like to it is an inspiration to others. The way they behave and the way they act is like they are always going. They are always like with their eyes on the horizon. They don't know exactly where they're going, but they know that they have to go. They know that they have to move. So it's really nice to see that of Jin, to see this ability of him. And then we move on to Namjoon's moon sign, that it's in Sagittarius. His moon is in Sagittarius and he is a Virgo sun sign. So actually what in the case, that's why I wanted to talk about them together, like in the same video, because I want you to be able to see Sagittarius energy in the move, and also to be able to associate it with Namjoon, because actually Sagittarius, that we don't see it in Jin, because Jin, since he has this well balanced fire energy, sometimes he's very assertive in the way he moves. But actually, astrologically, when we talk about Sagittarius, we always talk about that energy of being a little bit like clumsy, like awkward in a bit, actually, because Jupiter, the planet that rules Sagittarius, it's all about expansion. So sometimes it talks about the body, and when you have like Sagittarius energy, sometimes your body tends to be really long and really wide, and really like and you can have like a tendency of gaining a bit of weight, of being like a bigger person, like in your body physically. So that's why we see that although Namjoon is a Virgo, that Virgo people tend to have like more lean and slim bodies. He's actually like a bit like thicker on the thighs, especially his thighs, and actually that's a very Sagittarius trait, to have like big thighs, strong thighs. So whenever I see him, sometimes I see the Sagittarius energy in his body, and the way he moves actually is very Sagittarius like. That's why when we see that he has all these like accidents, where when he like breaks something, or when he acts like in a way that he seems that he's like too that he's maybe like moving too quickly, and like a bit like awkward, in the sense that we know that he's going to do something, or something is going to happen, he's going to break something. It's all this Sagittarius energy in him, because actually if you think about Virgo, for example, JK is also Virgo energy are very perfectionist, and are very like, they are not slow at moving, but they are the kind of people that always like it's like they anticipate their movements. It's like everything is calculated, even the way they move. So it's like it's not normal to see that they have like accidents, or that they it's like they have like these movements that sometimes are a bit like aggressive, and can they can like I don't know, trip and fall, or break something, or hurt someone else. They are very cautious. So when you think about the moon in Sagittarius, you think about someone that it's like it's really philosophical, because Sagittarius also talks about religion, about ideas, about idealism. So obviously he's someone that has an open mind, and has an ability to connect with different cultures. It's like he wants, is that kind of person that he wants to travel the world, that he feels good with himself when he is able to move around, when he is able to maybe move and to be able to travel. He doesn't like to be, for example, in his house. He likes to go out. He likes to do activities outdoors. He really enjoys that adventurous side of life, and otherwise he gets really like anxious inside when he doesn't have a lot to do, or when he has to be stagnant in a place. Is like, for example, if we have to see Namjoon moon sign. So he definitely is someone that needs adventure, needs to be able to learn, but we also have to talk about the combination of being a Virgo sun with a Sagittarius moon. It's like Virgo energy tend to be like a very analytical and very nervous energy. It's like they're always on their mind and they're always thinking about the details and they're always thinking about the process of perfectioning things. It's like they're always like thinking about working on the details and about creating things that can last in the time. So they're always having like these ideas in their head. So they're always like energetically they seem like they're always nervous. They're always like a little bit anxious because they have like a lot of ideas. They have like a lot of things in their mind. So sometimes they cannot connect with their inner world. So for example, when your inner world or your inner emotions are in Sagittarius, it means that sometimes maybe you can be passionate because this is a fire sign. Sagittarius is a fire sign. But also Sagittarius has the tendency of always wanting to go away. It's like they always want to move to a better place. It's like they always want to be on the move. I know I said it before, but I want you to understand the kind of energy Sagittarius is. It's like Sagittarius is always thinking about the next move. They always are thinking ahead, and that's why they love to travel, because it's like, yes, they enjoy the place they are in, but at the same time they are already planning and dreaming about what they want to do next, about what they want to do. So this also applies to the way they feel inside. It's like they are not very comfortable with strong emotions. I mean, it's like, for example, if they are like feeling like a little bit like sad, or feeling like a little bit blue, or feeling like a little bit like down, they tend to want to get out of that state. So they don't give themselves the time they need to heal the wounds, to heal the hurt, to heal what originated the hurt in the first place. They sometimes, especially when you have like a Virgo sun, maybe they can talk about it. They can, for example, they can write it down, they can put it into words, but at the same time, it's not healing. It's not healing because emotions is not something that you have to get away from. Emotions is something that you have to stay and feel it. And even though it hurts and it's painful, sometimes you have to feel that way, because emotions are different. They are not all like happy. So sometimes Sagittarius, for being really optimistic, tends to make the person a little bit like not being able to allow themselves to feel like not so bright emotions. Like it's like they don't want to feel the negative emotions, because I don't want to say negative, because there are no negative emotions. Actually, they are all part of the way we feel. So there's nothing negative on feeling a bit like insecure, or feeling a bit like depressed, or maybe feeling like a bit like sad. There are emotions that are needed for us to feel, because otherwise we wouldn't be learning anything about ourselves. If we were always happy, if we were always jumping around and being all happy, we wouldn't be able to get to the true meaning of things. So it's like they what Sagittarius does is that they tend to want to escape and want to like avoid conflict. It's like whenever they have like a conflict or an argument with someone, it's like they don't They are good at arguing. They don't have a problem with arguing. But after that, it's like they have to get away, or they have to move, or they have to get out of that place, or get out or leave that place and go somewhere else, or maybe distant themselves from the situation and the person they have an issue with. So sometimes this is not so bright, in the sense that there are some issues that need to be addressed, in the sense that you cannot go in life pretending to always wanting to move to the, I don't know, the Caribbean, or go to the beach and say, oh yes, my problems will be solved once I get to travel. No, sometimes you have to stay, because maybe the other person needs you to stay, and needs you to remain where they are, and need you to be present. It's like they're always anxious. They're always anxious about going to the next place and moving and traveling, and maybe like getting out of that, because they feel uncomfortable. They feel uncomfortable with strong emotions. They feel like it's that they need to heal right away. They feel like, oh yes, I'm having this problem, I feel bad about it, but I know I have to find an answer. And because this is the Sagittarius optimism, and they have to find an answer, and they have to get on with their lives. And sometimes life experiences show you and show them that there are some things that take time, and that you cannot get away from hurtful things, that you have to face what's happening within you. Especially if you are a Virgo sun, that Virgo people are very, like I already said it, they are very analytical. So sometimes maybe he dreams about like living and going somewhere else, somewhere happier and more positive vibes. But at the same time, his Virgo energy is like, no, we cannot let go of this, because we are not still done. We are not doing our best. We are not efficient enough, because Virgo is all about efficiency. It's all about it's very like, they are very critical on themselves, so they definitely want to give 110% of themselves to things. But actually, his emotional side is like, his inner voice is like, oh my god, I cannot wait for this to be over, because I want to be somewhere else. I want to be happy. I want to be happy again. I can stand to be in this it's like they feel uncomfortable with negative feelings and emotions. It's like they maybe because Sagittarius is very philosophical, so maybe in this sense he can use it as an inspiration to talk about what his experiences are. But it's like, if you can see, he has very beautiful speeches. If you listen to him, he has beautiful speeches about life, about universe, about how we are all part. I think it's his way, because also Sagittarius, to be that optimistic is also an ability, it's a gift, to be able to motivate people to keep going, motivate people to see the bright side of things, which is very like nice. I already said it about Jin, because Jin is a Sagittarius sun. So I always talk about that Sagittarius energy is really necessary to be able to sometimes be hopeful about things, and being able to maybe see that tomorrow we will have other options, that we will have something to look forward to, that we have to stay positive, that we have to believe, that we have to to be positive minded about things and not always being so negative. But when you have it in your inner world, it talks about this tendency to wanting everything to be bright and sunny and everything to be um, like um, like joyful and like to be happy because of this. But at the same time, when we face like not so bright moments, it's like they can't stand it. It's like, for example, if you have like a moon in Sagittarius, if you are going through something, maybe you are their friend and you are going through something like this, like really deep and emotional, they probably are not the best person to turn to for advice, or maybe to have a conversation about what's hurting you, because they are not, I mean, they will be there for you. They will obviously be there for you. But it's like they don't know how to be in that feeling with you. How to be is like is not the kind of person that is going to be like, oh, okay, you are feeling down, or you're feeling sad. I'm going to stay here and feel sad with you. It's like they are not like that. They are like, okay, what can I do for you? Maybe we can go out and we can have a nice time, and we can go watch a movie, and we can go and do some fun activities so you can get your mind out of your problems. And sometimes it's like they don't know how to handle emotional intensity. So they are really great people to be near, because they are very uplifting. They are very like they have like a great mindset because they are very positive. But at the same time, it's like they are not very well with maybe not so good and emotional issues, especially such as being sad, being hurt, feeling deceived, feeling down. So they are not really good at that. And it's not that they don't care about you, it's just that for them it's not easy to stay in that kind of feeling, in that kind of mood. It's like they don't know what to do except moving and going somewhere else, and moving and just maybe sometimes leaving. Maybe they will leave the room, or they will get away as far as they can, but it's just that they don't have that ability in them, which is fine. Um, and and that's something that obviously, like I said, the moon sign traits isn't something that you see it at first hand. You have to get to know them really intimately to be able to see these traits. But actually in Namjoon, I can see it more physically, the Sagittarius aspect, and also I can see it in the way he expresses himself in the speech he gives, because actually Sagittarius moons are very good with speaking to the audience, and are very good in communicating and being able to connect with people of different backgrounds, of people of different cultures, because Sagittarius planet is Jupiter, and Jupiter is the planet of expansion, and it's also the planet about the higher studies and about being able to connect with different people, different cultures, different ethnicities, and different languages. So I will finish this here, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. I will do. We will start with the Earth moon signs. We will start with Jungi and Hobby, that they are both Earth moon signs. They are Virgo Moon and Taurus Moon, so I'm going to talk about them both in the one video, in the next video. And then the other video is going to be about Jimin, because Jimin is Moon in Gemini, and he is the only he's the only air moon sign, and he's also the only air sun sign also, because he's a Libra. He's the only air sign in the group. And then I will, in the next video, I will talk about Taeyong and JK, that they are both, coincidentally, they're both air sun signs, and they're also both fire moon signs. So that's why I coupled them between each other, just like I did with them, so you can see the energy and the similarities between each other, because that's how you also can be able to see why sometimes they get along with some. It's like their energy shift when they are together. That's why Namjoon and Jin, they're just not like they're just not like together because they are the older ones of the group. They are together because they have like an affinity, because it's like Namjoon feels safe when he is near Jin, because Jin is a Sagittarius energy. So his moon sign feels really at home, feels really comfortable with Jin's energy. It's like he's able to connect with his inner world when he's with someone that is the same sign that his moon sign. So that's why I wanted you to be able to see why I talk about them together. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please, if you do, give it a like, and I will see you in the next video.